Now, it was always going to be an emotional day for Felipe Massa, taking part in his last ever Brazilian Grand Prix. He is the driver who has stood on the podium here in Brazil more times than any of his compatriots. And unfortunately, it wasn't quite the ending that Massa would have wanted. He crashed out in those awful weather conditions, just going up the hill, coming through back onto the start-finish straight, and let the car just run out too wide, hit the wall, game over. But what followed was a moment that I think we're all kind of thankful happened. Maybe even Felipe was thankful that it happened. It gave us images that I don't think Formula One fans or even sports fans around the world will ever forget. Incredibly emotional as the pit lane all stood and applauded him as he walked back in to the arms and the embrace of his family. A very emotional day then ending in a very emotional way. Felipe in the pen afterwards, we were all a bit emotional, and I'm not ashamed to say I was pretty much in floods of tears by the end of this one. Felipe, not the way that you would have wanted it to end here, but what an incredibly emotional day, and you wore your heart on your sleeve once again. Talk us through your emotions standing here at the end of your last ever Brazilian Grand Prix.
Well, I think it's impossible to explain the feeling that I had today. I wanted to finish the race in a better position for them, for the fans. Unfortunately, I couldn't, but I think maybe God knows what to do. It just stopped me in the place that it was such a emotion moment for me in front of these people, also in front of all the paddock, people that it was working in the middle of the race, going out, to clap their hands for me. Even teams that I didn't even work, teams that I work. It's such an amazing feeling, and I just, say thank you very much, because I am really proud for what I passed, but I never expected a day like today. I will never forget this day, and I just go out and I finish with my head up. Unfortunately, not for the result from today, but I think from the love and the human side that I feel in this world.
Are you aware after today how much you are loved in this paddock and how much you will be missed?
For sure, I didn't imagine that. It's not an easy paddock, but it's just an amazing feeling. So I just say thank you very much for all of you guys that support me even for 1 second. I was really emotional, and thank you all of you guys, you too. And it was really great feeling today, and I will never forget. Thanks, man.
So while the Brazilian Grand Prix didn't end in the way that Felipe Massa would have wanted, his compatriot and the man with an incredibly similar sounding name, Felipe Massa, was able to score his and Sauber's first points of the season. More emotional interviews coming your way. Felipe, we can see the tears, we can see the emotion. After what's been an incredibly hard year, what does it mean to you? What does it mean to the team to get points, but especially to do it here?
Well, I have no words to describe now, but it just feels amazing, the way it all happened. I knew I never really gave up, even though the year was going to be difficult. I don't know. I had that feeling that here could have been an opportunity. And when I saw the weather forecast, I said Sunday is going to be a very important day to keep the car on the track, and that's what I did today. Again, once the opportunity came, I was there ready for every single part of the race, and the team did a great job to inform me every time, how was the track conditions, and I was feedbacking them. It's just amazing. I mean, I couldn't have hoped for better. And doing here in Brazil, it just feels great. When I saw the grandstand, people were cheering. It was an incredible feeling.
And at the end of such a hard race, to know that you kept your cool, that the team kept their cool, that you did everything right and put it all together, does that show the resolve that you guys have had to have this year?
Yeah, I guess, difficult years, everybody gets in the heat of the moment as well. But, as I said, I never lost confidence in the team. It was just a matter of putting things together. And a few times this year we came close, but now, when we saw the opportunity and I saw it, I said, I'm going to give everything today. I left everything on the track. It was hard to keep Alonso behind at some point. and all the quicker cars, and I think that's racing. You know, I really enjoyed from the beginning to the end. So
Great job.
thanks, man.
Well done, mate.
Thank you.
Now, we might as well continue the rich vein of emotional interviews. In fact, as I say that, here comes Max back to the team after that brilliant race result for him. As you said, a race result which has seen Brazilian fans and Brazilian media already calling him the next Senna. It was a meteoric drive, a drive certainly of a future world champion. Anyway, we're talking about emotions and all of that raw feeling afterwards. And there was one guy who was almost inconsolable, Nico Hülkenberg. Sat on the cusp of, believe it or not, his first ever Formula One podium. He was ahead of teammate Sergio Perez, who was overtaken by Max Verstappen for that final podium spot with just a few laps to go. But then on the restart, incredibly picked up some debris in his tyre, had a flat, had to go all the way back to the back of the grid because he had to pit under the safety car. But again, a brilliant, beautiful drive back through the field, netted him some points, but you can see from him and what he had to say after the race, just the raw emotion and disappointment of a guy who's starting to feel that maybe it's just never going to happen for him. What could have been, I think, for today's
you can
race.
answer that yourself.
I know. How gutting is that?
Yeah. I don't know if I should laugh or cry. It's just somebody doesn't want it to happen, with me in Force India. So that's why it's good I changed team. Maybe I have better chances somewhere else. I don't know. But yeah, it's a bit sad because I think it was definitely possible today. I had great confidence in the car. I felt comfortable. I had the pace. But yeah, obviously picking up that puncture from some debris parts, I understood on the straight after Kimi shunt caused a big cut in the tire, and yeah, we had to force us in the pits basically, and then from all the way back there, obviously difficult.
But a great drive to get you up to where you finished in the end, and a sign of what could have been.
Yeah, no, absolutely, and I'm very happy and proud of myself and the team. I think we did a great job, just didn't quite have that luck on our side.
So that's your lot from a slightly shorter Paddock Pass this weekend. The reason it's so short is not because the interviews weren't good. They were, but I have to run to get my flight home as the race went on a number of hours longer than anybody was expecting. It's been a great weekend here in Brazil. It has been a great race when it did finally get going. But what it does is it puts the World Championship down to the final race in Abu Dhabi, just as it was just as it was 2 years ago. But this time, there's no double points on offer. It is pretty much winner takes all. Will Rosberg go into it wanting to take that win? How does he approach it? As he said to us earlier in this show, not even he knows how he's going to approach that weekend. I can't wait to get that. I can't wait to bring you guys along for the ride. This 2016 season is not over yet. One race to go. And I still don't know who's going to be world champion. We'll see you guys in Abu Dhabi. Thanks a lot.